Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to be covering something along the lines of a sequel to the last video, which was our exponential fit, and some of the models that naturally arose from that were some such as this regression rainbow. So remember, if you like the content, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and let's go ahead and dive into this analysis. All right. So in the previous video, we did an exponential regression fit of the hex price, and we sort of just a summary. I won't go over the whole thing again, right? But just to sort of summarize, we went over how when you draw a line on a logarithmic chart, you're actually drawing an exponential curve on a linear chart, right? And the fact that typical trading software doesn't reflect that, it doesn't map this line to a curve. However, when we do it with the raw data we have from nomics.com, here on our Google sheet, we're able to actually get the curvature with some regression that we did, okay? So in the previous video, I had separated it into 3 regions, and then I realized, let's have some fun with it. Let's double the amount of regions, and I also made it a bit more accurate. I'll explain that in a second too. But rather 6 regions, because then we have 7 boundaries, and therefore 7 colors. We can get this regression rainbow, okay? And I think it looks really nice. I don't know about you, and this is sort of analogous to our the typical Bitcoin logarithmic regression, right? Think about this, because some people have asked for a logarithmic regression rainbow. Bitcoin has been around for 13 plus years at this point, or it's been publicly traded for, I think, 12 years, something along the lines of 10 to 13 years. And the heavier an asset gets economically, the harder it is to move. And so to model these diminishing returns after a large amount of time, you see logarithmic curves, because they tend to, start off with linear growth, and they kind of level off, right? So just the same as we compared curves on line charts, or excuse me, on linear scales and logarithmic scales, the same, if you have a logarithmic regression curve on a log chart, you pretty much just have a straight line on a regular linear chart. Okay, so without getting too much into that, with a coin like HEX that's only been around for less than 2 years, to say that it's economically heavy and we'll start seeing diminishing returns, well, it's a little too early to say that, in my opinion. Maybe once we get a full market cycle, a full bull cycle, full bear cycle, or once we see how it reacts, at least to general crypto bull and bear market cycles. So give it anywhere from 4 years or more to actually have any use from making a logarithmic regression model. But for now, since it's a new coin and we've seen this insane growth, I think it's better fit by something like a exponential regression model. Okay, so that's just my discretion. Again, these are just mathematical models. Never take anything I say as financial advice. And let's continue on to what this looks like on our logarithmic chart. And pretty much, again, we have it separated into these regions. Now, what I find really interesting is that if you look back here, we sort of held support on the orange band, and we can actually zoom in here so you can see it a bit better. The hex price, it held support on this orange band more or less before pumping up to this pink band. And I should have you know that the pink band is actually only fit to a single data point of overextension. And let me go over that real quick. So in the previous model we pretty much looked at something like this. If you remember, I kind of covered it really quickly. So let's just explain what I mean. And let's fix this, because I actually didn't fix that. Extension multiple. Right, so the single data point is this level of overextension over here of 24.377. Okay, this is the highest overextended we've ever been from this. From the red curve, okay? And that was at this point over here, I believe. So if we look at it over here, this point over here on day 1, it was in the 140s to 150s. On one of those days is the highest the price has ever been extended from this red line right here. Okay, and we used that data point to pretty much extend the rest of this into the rest of time. And so keep in mind that any model that's fit to a single data point, 2, 3 data points, isn't necessarily predictive, so don't put too much weight on it. And also, what I was getting at earlier was the fact that, let's get back to that thread that we opened up, the fact that we held support on the orange band back here. Here, let's look at this. So we held support on the orange band once over here, twice over here, and then this third time it almost reached it, but then we went on to blast off into the pink band, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels above it. Okay, and now what I'm finding interesting here is that we found support, or it looks like we found support here in this red zone once, 2, and maybe this third time we don't necessarily reach it, sort of similar to this orange band. So we're playing in an accumulation zone that's an exponential fit beneath this orange one, so to speak. And so, like I hinted in the previous video actually, that is this red line going to hold forever? Maybe not, right? If we don't keep going exponential forever, at some point this will break, and then maybe we'll be able to form, maybe we'll be able to fit this data to a new model, or even just extend this model with an even lower band, maybe add another region. However, I do want to continue on this thought pattern I have here, that if we were to go up five of these exponential regression bands, similar to what we did over here, that would put us at this purple band. So again, even if we never reach this pink band, because it's only fit to one data point, and it was very, very overextended, even if we never reach it, and we reached the purple band, it's still looking pretty. Okay, so how long did it take us to reach from when we almost tested it this third time, which was day 120 or so, up to here to the day 160s? So 40 days, right? A little over a month, nothing crazy, super fast. If we were to do something similar, let's say even it took us 60 days, then we're looking in 2 months time in June. If we reached the purple band, what would that put us at? Because it's constantly moving up. So 550 day or so if we reached it in June. So if we had a crazy DeFi summer and had a crazy bull run, then we would be looking at 40-cent hex potentially if we got overheated, similar to over here, even less so actually. So let me know what you think. I'd love to continue looking at this and keeping you updated on this regression rainbow, which is what we're calling it. I think it's useful in the short term, obviously until it breaks, and I think it may hold some level of significance at least for the next year or so. Again, as we start getting more years of data in HEX and it starts being a coin that actually is getting heavier, then we will potentially start seeing diminishing returns, and it might not be an exponential fit anymore. It might be something more like a linear fit, right? Which would translate to a logarithmic regression on a log chart. So with that said, if you enjoy the content, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the support. Lately, we've been blowing up a little harder than usual, gaining subs here on YouTube. We've blasted past 1,100. You guys are following on Twitter because I finally fixed the links in the description to go follow on Twitter. Love to engage with you guys in there. And a side note here before we end the video, a lot of you guys have been wanting me to hop on some of these live discourses that some of the HEX enthusiasts host, and I'm a busy guy, but I think it would be really fun. So I'll keep you guys updated with that. If the demand continues, then I think an interview might be kind of cool. I know those guys can talk for a long time, so I'm just doing some quantitative analysis here. I can't ramble on for more than 10 minutes, as you've seen, average length of these videos. But nonetheless, I think it would be fun. So I think we should set something up if you guys, again, if the demand continues, why not? But with that said, again, appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, peace.